The only consistent thing about Chainsaw Man will only be that it just blows people's minds away from the weirdness that it puts out every single chapter, every single time, literally every single time. Thank you, Chainsaw Man. But as it were, this chapter ends up being a nice little eye opener for some of the things because of the bigger villain that I think a lot of people know. Well, anybody that actually reads the series has noticed over time. You have Kianshi's like girls, and they're just kind of like going in to follow her up and trying to do their thing. And I hope this girl doesn't die because she is a perfect. She's a perfect character to use for like a data book, just kind of being like, oh, character heights, character weights, things they like, oh, their powers and stuff. Because she has her weird little hair that looks like a monster, and then it goes in front of her to create like a magnifying glass looking thing, and from that she ends up looking at Kishibe, the violence fiend, and Kobeni, who it's good to see Kobeni again. I'm always happy she's safe. But this chick with her power, she could see what devils that Kishibe has in contract with, and the ones that he has that claw, knife, and needle. So it's gonna be very like close combat themed. As that making sense, obviously, to what we've seen with Kishibe before and how dangerous he is with a knife. But he's going against these girls who are obviously Xiao Mei's crew. Unfortunately for them, they don't really know who they're up against because Kishibe, being as high up as he is being like the top devil hunter, or at least kind of like the top devil hunter who's like starting to fade out of his age, because I think he said he's like 50. He's getting pretty old. But oh, Yoshida. I'm happy that I remembered this guy's name, the dude with the little mole next to his mouth. And I just kind of like, I got his name, and I was like, oh, because it was like, oh, it reminds me of Ishida, the guy who does Tokyo Ghoul. Well, the Tokyo Ghoul. And I was like, oh, cool. And then he ended up being more relevant, like when we saw him kill one of the two brothers. And then he's got, I know he's not the big stuff within this chapter, but I really wanted to use this panel because his power looks like it's going to be really cool. His being like allied with the octopus devil, and just like the way that the suction cups look in this. The thing is, it's very weird about Chainsaw Man is like I've got an argument with somebody who was saying that like, one of the reasons they didn't like it was the art. They thought that they thought that Fujimoto's like art style was that it wasn't very good. They thought it looked very poor. Then I didn't agree with that. I think his art is very good. The thing though about his art is generally the way he draws people is very like that would be like arguably to say like his weak point. He draws people. Some of them look very strange, but then when you have like his environments, his buildings, landscapes, his monsters, they all look great. Like look how detailed that octopus tentacle is. It just looks fantastic. But he's going up against Kianchi, and Kianchi being clearly like a top tier like mercenary like world over, that she's gonna be probably too much for Yoshida, but it looks like he doesn't die. She doesn't end up killing him because right when she's about to stab him, here's Kishibe, who's got two of Kianshi's fiends like harem and held hostage, and they're like, okay, what's gonna happen? What are they gonna talk about? We found out a lot here. Like Kianchi, one of the reasons like what led her to being so powerful, to where she's not just, oh, I'm some powerful character for a backstory that you'll get way later that will finally explain it. We already know one thing is that she was at one point she was Kishibe's buddy. They were they were paired up, they were a group, which makes you wonder if she's even fully human, because they usually they don't always have to have a devil or a fiend and human kind of group, because then you had remember Aki and Himeno, so it's not always. I scratch that last part about wonder if she's human, but while talking to him, he ends up pulling out, just kind of like making it look like small talk and stuff, but he's got like a notepad that he like has writing out. So from that, we know that there's going to be multiple powers that Makima has that she's able to listen to. She's able to figure out where they are, listen in, and get information, because we don't know all of hers, but I assume that she has multiple contracts, just like Kishibe, where they got like a bunch of small ones. Well, hers are probably going to be way crazier, because we already know Makima is like the biggest threat really at the moment. Even with all these assassins around, she's still the biggest threat currently, like to them. Like, we don't know anything about where the Gun Devil. Well, no, they said the Gun Devil was in Russia, didn't they? God, I gotta look that back up. I have to go look for some stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Russia. They said where he was, but correct me if I'm wrong. Regardless of which, now you have him kind of just like bringing out these notes saying that they want to kill Makima, and he wants Kyanshi to help him. Like obviously, Kishibe knows when she was lying. He knew like that there was something up with her, and he thinks he was behind the attack, or at least knew of it and let it happen. So obviously he knows that she's got a bigger scheme going on. We don't know exactly how far, but Makima being as mysterious and as very kind of like cunning as she is, it's going to be very dangerous for them to try and to try and deal with her, because she's not just kind of like powerful. She's also clearly very intelligent. She's manipulative. She can kind of like tell when people are like lying and stuff. She's not going to be an obstacle they can just overcome. But it doesn't look like Kyanshi really wants to kind of get involved. She kind of just seems like she wishes that she could not know things. Like she explains like there was like this newswoman that Kyanshi liked, and it's like, oh, one day it turns out she was exposed about lying about her age. She was lying about this guy she was with. Just a lot of stuff that made her seem like the sides to her she didn't want to know. Like it was like, oh cool, I like her for her looks, but then you find out like all this horrible stuff on her side. Like, never mind. I think I judged a little too early. It's nicer to keep that fantasy than have the reality ruin it, kind of thing. And she's just like, I don't really know if I want to get involved in this. She'd be a good dog and just stay on your leash. And then she's like, take some advice from your former buddy, which obviously means that they were paired up, which explains, oh yeah, if this was like the counterpart for Kishibe's level of a character, then obviously this girl is going to be very strong, and it obviously makes sense why he would have known like what to do to deal with her. But after that point, one of the three brothers comes in, and he's just got like a gun pointed on him, dude, just being very bad. He's not doing his job very well. But what is that? One of the three brothers? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go back and look. I'm pretty sure that is. He's got the scar over his eyes. But he ends up coming in, tries to shoot him. Kishibe ends up kicking Denji and just like making the bullet miss. And from that, you have one of the Kyanshi's fiends just get on top of Denji. Not going to go well for her, because just looking at that panel, like she ends up keeping his arms. Both of Denji's arms are like held, but I feel like he could just bite his cord if he can get to it or something. Maybe Denji will have like upgraded his outfit and like, I'm going to be smart, and then ended up tying his chainsaw cord to his tie, so it just gives him more reach if he needed to. That would be cool for Denji's like, aha, I've improved things. It's just I had an extra thing. If I get my arms constricted, I pull my cord. Or maybe he ends up like using, well, he would have to get his shoe off and then somehow be flexible to get with his feet. But you know what I mean. And at that point, a battle between Kishibe and Kyanshi has begun. It's gonna be really cool because they're just two very highly skilled characters. Obviously, like you have technique and then speed, but also I think Kishibe is going to end up being able to show off what's crazy about his contracts. Definitely hyped about the next chapter, which is cool because it's not even Denji, it's not Power, it's not Aki. You finally get to get hyped for a character who is supposed to be like this really big deal against this other character is supposed to be a big deal. Main character's in the room, which is going to be cool to see like how he reacts to it, and maybe Denji will grow a little bit, maybe combat wise, just kind of like figure out some new things to do with his chainsaws. But anyway, comment below. Tell me your thoughts about this chapter. I'd really appreciate a thumbs up the video. But friend the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But that, appreciate no reason. Subscribe. And I thank you all for listening. Bye.